I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
Imagine a 3-second clip that didn't just break the internet, but threatened to shatter a league, ignite a cultural war, and pull in one of the biggest names in sports. A clip so blurry, so ambiguous, yet so powerful, it forced even LeBron James to weigh in with a single cryptic sentence. We're talking about the moment Brittney Griner and Caitlin Clark collided, and how an alleged racial slur spiraled into something nobody saw coming. Was it a calculated attack, a frustrated outburst, or just a massive misunderstanding twisted by the online mob? And why did the WNBA go completely silent? This isn't just a sports story, it's a modern-day mystery, and we're about to peel back every layer. It all started on May 24th. The Indiana Fever, led by the rookie sensation Caitlin Clark, were battling the Phoenix Mercury. The atmosphere was electric, tense, with all eyes, as usual, on Clark. She's become this undeniable magnet, drawing crowds and controversies in equal measure. And as the game wore on, emotions started to boil. Late in the fourth quarter, Phoenix's dominant center, Brittney Griner, fouled out. You could see the frustration etched on her face. Not just with the call, but with the entire game. Perhaps the whole narrative that's been building around Clark. As Griner walked toward her bench, the cameras caught it. A quick, sharp motion of her lips, fueled by raw emotion. And that split second became the spark that lit an inferno. Within hours, that blurry 3-second snippet was everywhere. TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, it was impossible to escape. Fans zoomed in, slowed it down, added captions, and the collective interpretation began to solidify. Chorsing white girl. The accusations spread like wildfire. Millions were convinced Griner had hurled a racial slur directly at Caitlin Clark. Social media exploded. Hashtags like Not Griner Racist and Protect Caitlin started trending. People were outraged, demanding accountability, calling for suspensions. It was a digital trial by fire, and Griner was already being found guilty. But here's where the story gets even wilder. In the midst of this digital chaos, a whisper started circulating. Not from official channels, not from ESPN, not even a tweet. It was a rumor, born in private conversations and basketball forums, that the king himself, LeBron James, had weighed in. The alleged quote? Just 5 words. This went way too far. Think about that. LeBron James, the man who rarely speaks without intent, who navigates controversies with surgical precision, and now this unconfirmed yet instantly iconic remark. It was enough to send shockwaves through the entire sports world. To understand the weight of LeBron's alleged words, you have to remember his history with Brittney Griner. When she was detained in Russia in 2022, facing a terrifying ordeal, LeBron was one of her loudest, most unwavering advocates. He used his massive platform to demand government action, to spark global media attention, to question if America was doing enough to protect its athletes. His support was sincere, powerful, and relentless. So, for that same man to now express concern, allegedly, that this situation, the slur controversy involving Caitlin Clark, has gone way too far. It's not just a reaction, it's a shift. And fans noticed. The interpretations of LeBron's subtle, rumored statement were as varied as the fan base itself. Some immediately saw it as LeBron drawing a line in the sand, a warning to the media. Stop twisting words. Stop weaponizing race. Stop using Clark and Griner as clickbait punching bags. They believed he was defending Griner, implicitly saying the outrage was overblown. But others heard something completely different. A subtle rebuke of Griner herself, a quiet sign that even her most powerful supporters might be uncomfortable with how she handled the moment, hinting that perhaps she did cross a line. And then there was the third group, the pragmatists, who thought LeBron was doing what he always does, walking a tightrope between accountability and unity, trying to cool the flames before they engulfed the entire league. But while LeBron's alleged words fueled the debate, the core of the controversy remained that blurry 3-second clip. Was fawning white girl truly what Griner said? Or was the internet, in its rush to outrage, twisting words that weren't even there? Just as the backlash reached a fever pitch, a wave of resistance emerged, led by veteran sports journalist Jamili Hill. She flat out rejected the slur accusations, arguing that the internet had it completely wrong. According to Hill, Griner wasn't even talking about Caitlin Clark. Her frustration, Hill claimed, was directed squarely at the referees. Hill presented her receipts, alternate angles of the moment, pointing out that Natasha Howard, Griner's teammate, had just been whistled for the foul. Griner, Hill suggested, was reacting to what she believed was a whack call against her teammate, not launching a personal attack on Clark. Other voices chimed in with side-by-side video comparisons, arguing that confirmation bias was rampant. People saw what they wanted to see, not necessarily what was actually there. Even professional lip readers and body language analysts weighed in, and their verdict was consistently inconclusive. Some thought fucking white girl was plausible. Others insisted whack call was more likely. Many simply shrugged, admitting there was no definitive way to know for sure. Yet, once the internet gets a taste of controversy, it doesn't let go easily. The division only deepened, morphing from a sports debate into a full-blown cultural war. On the right, commentators and influencers seized on the incident as a textbook. Example of double standards in sports media. Outlets blasted the WNBA for allegedly ignoring racist behavior from a black athlete, claiming that if the roles were reversed, a white player saying something similar to a black opponent, there'd be immediate suspensions and outrage. They called for formal apologies and accountability, treating the incident as a symbol of selective outrage in modern sports. But the left fired back with a completely different tone. Progressive commentators and WNBA insiders were quick to defend Griner, not just from the accusation itself, but from what they saw as coordinated political targeting. They argued the outrage was less about justice and more about punishing Brittney Griner for being who she is. Black, outspoken, queer, and someone who doesn't fit neatly into the hero versus villain narrative built around Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise. "This isn't about what she said," tweeted one high-profile sports writer. "It's about who people want her to be." Even behind the scenes, WNBA players were reportedly split, some supporting Griner privately, others concerned the backlash could hurt the entire league's fragile, newfound popularity. And in the eye of this storm, one voice remained conspicuously, deafeningly silent: the WNBA itself. No statement, no investigation, no clarification, nothing. For days, as hashtags trended and media shows dissected the situation from every conceivable angle, the league refused to even acknowledge the controversy. And that silence, it spoke volumes. Fans were stunned. Some took it as a calculated move to protect one of its biggest stars, shielding Griner from fallout to avoid deeper scrutiny. Others saw it as a desperate hope that the story would simply burn itself out. But it didn't. In fact, the silence made it worse. Commentators openly questioned whether the WNBA was avoiding accountability because of who Griner is: a former number, one pick, an Olympic gold medalist, a symbol of resilience after surviving a Russian prison sentence. The same player the league had rallied around just a year earlier now seemed untouchable. If a white player had said something offensive to a black opponent, some asked, would the league be this quiet? If Caitlin Clark had been accused, would we see the same silence? These questions echoed through comment sections and sports radio, making the WNBA's refusal to even address them a story in itself. Sponsors and networks kept their distance, just cautiously watching. This wasn't just about Griner or Clark anymore. It was about the league's identity, its integrity, and its future. Because at its core, this controversy exposed a raw tension simmering under the surface of women's sports. It became a flashpoint, a mirror reflecting something much deeper about the state of American sports and the uncomfortable conversations many people try to avoid. Do the rules change depending on who you are? In the eyes of many fans, the answer is a resounding yes. They see a league quick to discipline for minor incidents, but completely silent when controversy touches one of its biggest names. They see Caitlin Clark, a young white rookie, constantly scrutinized for being too confident or too privileged, while players like Griner are defended at all costs, even when caught in moments of questionable behavior. Others, however, argue the exact opposite. They see Griner being targeted precisely because of who she is: a powerful, unapologetic black woman who's already been through hell overseas and now has to walk on eggshells in her own league. To them, this scandal isn't about accountability, it's about control, about silencing voices that don't fit a pre-approved mold. And it's not just about race, it's about visibility. The WNBA is experiencing unprecedented attention with Caitlin Clark's arrival. TV ratings have surged, ticket sales are up, and for the first time in years, casual fans are watching. But that spotlight comes at a cost. Every move is analyzed, every word becomes a headline. And when two of the league's most polarizing figures, Griner and Clark, are on the court together, the stakes feel even higher. In the end, that 3-second clip turned into a cultural flashpoint. Brittney Griner's frustration after a foul call sparked a viral storm that snowballed into accusations, backlash, and deep political division. The internet dissected every frame. Pundits picked sides, influencers made it personal, and somewhere in the middle of all that noise came a single voice that changed the tone: LeBron James. Whether he truly said, "This went too far," or not, his alleged presence in the conversation forced fans to stop and ask, what are we even fighting about anymore? Was this a moment of ugly, unfiltered truth, or just another example of people twisting a blurry video to fit their favorite narrative? Is Brittney Griner being unfairly targeted for who she is? Or is the league turning a blind eye when accountability is needed the most? And perhaps the most important question of all, what does it say about us, the fans, the media, the league, when we're quicker to scream over what might have been said than to listen to what's actually happening? Because this wasn't just about words. It was about how fast outrage moves, how silence can say more than any statement, and how sometimes the people we expect to lead, whether it's Griner, Clark, or LeBron, are stuck navigating a storm that none of them started, but all of them are trapped inside. So now, it's your turn. What do you think? Did Brittney Griner cross a line? Was LeBron defending her, or was he calling her out? And should the WNBA have stepped in, or was their silence the best strategy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive intriguing, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that go beyond the headlines. Because in today's game, it's not just about what you say, it's about who hears it and what they do with it.